athletes. It's Andrea from Next Level Fitness Training in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. I'm here to talk to you for reals. What is core strengthening? What are those core muscles anyway? Ab muscles, abdominals, six-pack, lumbo pelvic hip complex, what else? Stomach muscles. These are all words that we use to describe the same thing. Experts will tell you that the core musculature is the rib cage to the like crotch area or mid thigh. They'll also tell you that strengthening the core muscles is very good for us because it helps keep the back from injury and it makes us stronger overall. Most people, when they think of core muscles, they think of crunches, right? You know those moves where you're laying on the ground, your hands are clasped behind your head, and you're trying to raise the body up off the floor, the shoulders off the floor as many times as possible. Another exercise you think of when you think core muscles is the plank move, and that's the one where your forearms are on the ground and your toes are on the ground only, and you're trying to hold your body up as long as possible off the ground. There are zillions of exercises that could be core strength exercises, but really what is core strength? And will doing any of these exercises help me? The first thing we need to know is the primary purpose of your core muscles is to resist movement. So that's the main reason why these babies exist, is to resist movement, specifically spinal movement, to protect your spine. They're there to protect your spine. Secondly, with that in mind, with the idea that the main reason for your abdominals is to resist movement, they're also there to help you powerfully rotate. So if you don't have good core strength and you're doing some power rotation moves like baseball or golf, then you really could risk some back injury or tearing your shoulders. Learning to activate your core muscles should be the first priority. And two things I do not recommend for core strengthening or before you learn to activate your core is crunches and planks. Core muscles are not intended to shorten the distance between your rib cage and your pelvic bone, as you see in crunches, or what you'll see a lot of people do who are uninformed is just shortening the distance between their chin and their chest. Yeah. Planks are supposed to accomplish that goal of the resistance part, resisting the movement in the plank, like I said, because your core muscles are supposed to resist that downward pull of your belly button, like I explained to you earlier. But for those with weaker upper bodies, the only thing they feel is their shoulders are dying, or some of us just feel this urge to bend our knees because the quadriceps are trying to hold us. So your core muscles does take mental energy, but it's something you can do any time of the day, so you can do it all of your waking hours, and you can practice it all day long if you want. So first thing to practice it is to cough. Cough. So if you were to cough, that's that feeling. So I don't like to use the words suck in. A lot of people say suck in your abs. What's the first thing you think of when you think suck in? Right? You suck in air, and then supposedly these come in. But this is the exact opposite of what you want to do. You don't want to be raising the chest, raising the shoulders, and the feeling of learning to activate, that doesn't activate at all. The feeling of learning to activate your abdominals or your core area is that exhaling feeling. So this is just the learning. You really should, we will practice breathing while we're activating. You need to practice that, and that'll be your homework. But the feeling is not sucking in at all. The other cue that I like to use, and this is actually my favorite if you can get your mind wrapped around this, is pulling up on the pelvic floor and in. And that automatically rights the posture a little bit. So that actually helps me with people with issues with their pelvic area posture. As soon as you think about pulling up on your pelvic floor and in, that I like that cue for core activation. The other cue that I use often is imagine somebody's coming along and tickling you, and what would you do? You'd protect them. The only thing with that one is there is this kind of like, what do? You do this. So you're going to have to learn to feel that, but then straighten up. But that's also another way of somebody tickling you. And then the other one is imagine somebody's going to gut check you. So what do you do when somebody wants to gut check you? you're gonna protect your belly from the gut check right there. So those are good ways to think about learning to activate your core. Good cues for that. So when you're seated at your desk, when you're in your car, when you're waiting online, when you're nursing, when you're walking to the mailbox, when you're anything, now you can practice activating your core muscles. So this is what you're going to do. So you have your homework. You're going to practice activating your core with any of those activities, plus not tucking, not shortening, and staying up as tall as you can. All right, then you're ready for some core strengthening exercises. And I do not recommend crunches or planks. So what do? That would be the topic for our next video. So I hope you'll stay tuned. My name's Andrea, and I am with Next Level Fitness Training in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon.